This video is brought to you by Surfshark VPN. Stay tuned for a special offer. Have you ever applauded an aircraft landing? Or are you in the group that finds it wrong and unacceptable? Opinions are divided as to whether it's a good or bad thing to do. Nevertheless, it still happens regularly in some locations. Today, let's look at the debate over applauding an aircraft landing. There seems to be no clear reason as to when, where or why clapping happens upon an aircraft's successful touchdown. Online discussions suggest several possibilities: to celebrate the return home after a long journey, to congratulate the pilots and crew, or even as a celebration from fearful flyers that it's all over. Perhaps the theory that makes the most sense is that clapping started back when flying was less common and riskier, with landings being a novel and slightly scary experience at the time. Research from Mike.com finds that the first recorded example of clapping on landing was in 1948, when the Cincinnati Enquirer reported how all the passengers clapped after the successful landing of an American Airlines flight at Cincinnati after circling with a malfunctioning landing gear. Of course, there are likely other early cases, but it certainly doesn't seem to be an early tradition. Whatever its origins, it seems clear that clapping is not a long-held historic tradition. Yet these days there are frequent cases of passengers clapping upon landing. This certainly seems like a cultural variation. A read through online discussion forums backs this up, with many people referring to specific nationalities. There are some apparent trends. It seems much less likely in Scandinavia than compared to Southern Europe, for example, but it still remains varied. As you travel the world, you might experience these variations for yourself. While clapping after landing may or may not be a thing where you are, online threats are something that exist wherever you are in the world. That's where today's sponsor, Surfshark, can make a difference. Increase the security of your online experience with a VPN, which keeps you safe and private by encrypting everything you do online. If you're an avid cafe goer or traveler, Surfshark will help keep you safe even on unknown networks, encrypting your online data over public Wi-Fi. A Surfshark subscription provides protection for an unlimited number of devices, with over 3,200 servers in 65 countries. Connecting to a server in a different country gets past geo-blocks and government restrictions, allowing access to more content than you might be able to access where you're physically located. For example, Pulp Fiction and Forrest Gump aren't available on Netflix in the UK, like they are in the US. But it's more than just a VPN. A Surfshark subscription includes a cookie pop-up blocker, the ability to block malicious websites, and website safety warnings. With 24/7 support and a 30-day money-back guarantee, Surfshark VPN might be one thing worth clapping about. Get Surfshark VPN at surfshark.deal/simpleflying and enter the promo code SIMPLEFLYING to get 83% off and 3 extra months for free. Our thanks again to Surfshark for their support. And now, back to the rest of the video. Comments and experience indicate more likelihood from nationalities including, but not limited to, German, Romanian, Russian, Italian, Portuguese, Jamaican, Polish and Israeli, particularly when flying into home airports. Slate.com summed this up well in its analysis, expressing the opinion that no nationality would claim to follow the custom. Everyone who believes in landing claps and finds them quaint, silly or suspicious seems inclined to pin the custom on the passengers of another, less sophisticated culture. We don't cheer at airplane landings, they do. Aside from national tendencies, applause is often heard on certain occasions. Landing after a diversion, emergency or other difficulties could warrant a hearty round of applause, likely with more passengers joining in. This might even be true in horrific situations. Slate.com notes the following for the crash of Southwest Airlines Flight 812 in April 2011. A hole tore through the cabin roof, flight attendants passed out from lack of oxygen, and the cockpit crew lost access to its main controls. People clapped when that plane touched down and then began to hug one another. Of course, not everyone will clap or appreciate others clapping. It appears clapping after landing has been a divisive issue for a long time and still remains so today. As flying becomes more and more common for people, it seems likely more people will oppose it. Writing for the Huffington Post, flight attendant David Puzo listed clapping as one of the 12 things people should never do in an aircraft. Other comments from anti-clappers featured in a Condé Nast article include the following. It's not a performance, and I don't clap when a taxi driver drops me off at my apartment, or give a standing ovation to the ferry driver who deposits me safely on land, so this falls into the same category for me. And why are we clapping? Because we're alive? Is it surprising that we're alive? Is it because we arrived at our sunny destination in the Caribbean? Did we think we wouldn't? If the pilot navigates a bumpy landing with skill and style, I'll clap, but I don't give participation trophies. Airlines seem less opposed to it, however. Ryanair, for example, used to play a recorded congratulatory fanfare that often led to applause after landing. As another example, JetBlue advertised new routes in Puerto Rico with images of passengers clapping. And as a final thought, New York-based etiquette expert Thomas Farley, reported by the website Mike.com, states, "For infrequent air travelers or nervous flyers, a round of spontaneous applause upon landing is perhaps the most natural form of expressing relief, gratitude and excitement about reaching a destination. As long as the clapping is brief and doesn't morph into the whole plane doing the wave, I don't see an etiquette issue here." The debate will no doubt continue. While some hate the idea of clapping, others will continue to express thanks, relief, or just celebrate after landing. And so the big question of the day, do you clap or think it's acceptable to clap when an airplane lands? Why or why not? Let us know by leaving a comment. In addition to our daily YouTube videos, Simple Flying publishes over 150 articles every week. If you're looking for the latest aviation news and insights, visit simpleflying.com.